and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I met some idiots that have been in the field for a very long time. I don't care how long you've been working in tech. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. Hey, what's up, fam? My name is Sar Levy. Welcome back to Africans in Tech, where we're bridging gaps and shaping futures in tech. So last week, we talked about an amazing guest, Tunde, an IAM engineer. So if you haven't seen that episode, go back and check it out. We also talked about how hard it is to be in tech and especially working in tech long term. This week, I got a young, amazing, aspiring, well, not necessarily aspiring, he's been in tech for a couple of years now. So while we talked about, the difficulties of like working in tech long term, we're going to talk about some of the challenges of working in tech, being new to the space. So I got my young Syrian brother here, Mr. Clay, Adrian Clay. So Adrian, got a couple of questions here. We're just going to keep it as informal as possible, man. But first one, man, just tell me a bit about yourself and, for those who don't know you, who Adrian Clay is and what you do and all that jazz, man.
Well, first, thank you for having me. My name is, of course, Adrian Clay. 22, from Sierra Leone, born in Texas, San Antonio. Both mother and father from Sierra Leone. I have an older brother, Richland, who's born in Gambia. Currently working as a cybersecurity engineer. Been doing it for about 3 years now, going up on 3 years. Primarily working with Splunk. That's how I got my intro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. How do you like working this one?
It's cool. It's the only thing I know. So I think that helps narrow or close down my focus to narrow like what I want to do or stay focused on something because
Gotcha.
there's a lot of stuff I could do done in tech, but I think Splunk was it.
Yeah. And when you first got in, I think I remember you was working like Sumo Logic and some other stuff.
Gig.
How was that, man?
It was challenging. First gig doing Sumo Logic, trying to learn CrowdStrike, Exabeam, I think it was Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard just because first gig and I was there for Splunk,
Yep.
and they were like, the contract is short, it's ending.
Yep.
So I'm coming in to basically learn something else at the start of my career. So.
Yeah, and so that's a very good point Adrian just made. So just because you get into a career space or a contract and they say this is what you're going to be doing, there's a chance that is not what you're going to be doing. So make sure you're prepared. It's just about learning, honestly, because I mentioned in the first episode, second, third episode, learning is a big thing in the tech space. Like you're going to have to be constantly learning and growing and, adapt to the field that we're in. So they're going to throw you into the fire and then just expect you kind of learn and put water on yourself and cool off when you can. Cool, man. So I think you kind of alluded a bit to it, but how did you get into tech exactly, I guess?
You're how I got into tech, what was it? First time I remember, I think 13, 14, you went in Maryland.
Yeah.
You had mentioned, you asked me to learn about Raspberry Pi. You said to look that up and figure out what that is. And I remember looking it up, and the only thing I knew was like, oh, it's a mini computer. That's the only thing I had ever looked up, and none of it made sense. And I don't remember ever touching that ever again. And then you hit me up 2020? Around 2020. I think that might have been your third time hitting me up about tech or just doing something with you. And shoot, I had nothing else to do, just graduated. I was like, all right, let me do something. And I think one of my better decisions as far as I know. But you're the reason I got into it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you actually listened and you followed through, man, because there's a lot of folks I've talked to into getting into the tech space, and even folks who are going to watch this podcast and they've been told about getting into the tech space and they either for whatever reason choose not to. And I'm not saying tech is the only way to go. I'm just saying for those who have nothing else and are interested in kind of fielding other career paths, tech is a great way. As Adrian will probably talk a lot more about. Cool, man. I guess what are the challenges of being in tech, especially being like a young dude, man?
I used to think getting in would have been the harder thing. I think maintaining it is harder than getting in.
Okay.
At this point, the only way I could see the biggest challenge is the learning aspect and
Okay.
what you're willing to learn.
Yep.
Because it's not as comfortable to me as other jobs or like more physical jobs.
Yep.
So trying to take that time to sit in front of a computer and analyze something that maybe you know nothing about, trying to learn it from scratch, and doing that almost every day is a lot bigger of a challenge than coming in and repeating the same process. Although it's repetitive, it's like Monday you're analyzing this type of data, Tuesday analyzing another type of data. So it's like you're repeating the same process but from scratch. And I think depending on how you look or how you analyze stuff, that's probably one of the bigger challenges. And then how you learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
The rate at which you learn, because you could be doing something for a month and still not know what you're doing. I think I had one of those challenges where I felt like I knew how to do the work, but I couldn't explain it. And I think being able to explain what you're doing is also part of that.